So I was actually really in the mood to make a video today, and I just didn't really know what to make it on, because I wanted to do something Halo related, because I know that's why most of the people that are subscribed to me are subscribed for Halo stuff, either Halo collectibles, Halo news, Halo discussion, top 10s, whatever. Most of it's Halo, so I definitely want to talk about Halo, but as you probably know, in the last 3 years there's been nothing on Halo really, except Halo Wars 2, which I don't really cover much, so that kind of just took like a backseat to the rest of the stuff I was doing, but now that we are hopefully only a couple months out from E3, where we hopefully, please, will be getting something for Halo 6. I think we kind of have to be, like at least a teaser trailer or something kind of like that. I just kind of thought it'd be fun today if I just went back and looked at Halo 5's lifespan, kind of as like a closing chapter on Halo 5, because this is really where I made a ton of my videos for. Me and my friend, we would go through, we talk about the rec reveals every month, we talk about speculation. We even have our video, I believe it's still up, of when Halo 5 was announced in that first picture, all that kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be really cool. It's kind of like a closing chapter on Halo 5, really. I mean, I'll probably still talk about Halo 5 at some point, but just we thought it'd be kind of cool to look back on Halo 5's lifespan, kind of in a discussion type thing, not scripted or anything, just kind of going through on the content updates on the website, just kind of going about, saying what I thought about them, saying kind of looking back on them today, what the game's like, and it's kind of, like I said, a closing chapter on Halo 5. So all the way back, I do want to state back, starting the beginning, that obviously the game launched in a terrible state, only like 5 game modes. It was horrible. It really was unforgivable, like all the multiplayer content that it had, with even the campaign, which is pretty bad, but all the multiplayer stuff, obviously. We shouldn't have had to wait 8 months for whatever. We gotta remember the specific ones, but I did want to state that just from the beginning, was that I don't like really condone any of this. I don't think it's okay, but I do think most people will admit that there was a certain level of kind of fun that we had going into these updates, the different content updates, seeing what we were going to get, the art, all the different kind of things, the rec reveals, and there was a certain level of anticipation that I think a lot of people really enjoyed. So obviously the first update we got all the way back in September would have been, or would it come, or November, would have been the Battle of Shadow and Light update, which I remember being super excited for this, and looking back on it, it's probably one of the worst, or one of my least favorites. Obviously this was huge at the time, because we got Big Team Battle finally introduced in this, and this was awesome, 8v8, I was really excited, but obviously it sucked because it was all community made map. Okay, it didn't suck, I don't hate Big Team Battle, but I'm not a huge fan of it in Halo 5. And the main reason is just for that because we didn't have any dev-made Big Team Battle maps. That is a huge deal. And to only have the new maps, we got Deadlock, Basin, Guillotine, and Recurve, which I remember actually really liking Recurve. I thought that was like a decent amount of time, but it just really wasn't what it should have been. It should have been there, obviously, from the beginning. And for us to have to wait a month for the Battle of Shadow and Light update was just really disappointing, and especially when we got Big Team Battle the way it ended up being, it really was disappointing, and a mode that I really don't play that much in Halo 5 today, even when I do play Halo 5. We got the Shinobi armor set, which was kind of a throwback to Hayabusa, so I thought that was kind of cool, even though I didn't love the look of it. Tracer I hated, and then I don't want to go into the specifics like of too much all the different weapon skins and all that stuff. I did really like the Green Machine weapon skin we got for that one, and that's really just about it that came in that update. I mean, there wasn't much to it. I remember being kind of excited the first time, but then also being kind of disappointed because we got Big Team Battle, and that's it. Like, is there more? But obviously there would be more when in December we would get the Cartographer's Gift update, which was one of the most massive, and probably the second biggest update we ever got. Obviously this was the one that introduced Forge, which Forge in Halo 5 is incredible. You can't, again, kind of ignoring the rest of the state of the game, Halo 5's Forge is insane. It's like completely rebuilt from the ground up, and just everything you can do. I can't even get all the specifics because I don't forge a lot, or at least I haven't in like a couple years, but it's incredible in Halo 5. The amount of detail, all this different stuff you can change, all the scripting, it's insane, and I love it. I can't speak enough great things about it, and I hope they just do as good a job as they can bringing that same Forge to Halo 6, hopefully on launch day. And if they have to delay it like a month or two like they did for this one, if we get the same level of quality, I'll probably be okay with that. Also with this update, we got the 4 different variations of the Spanker. I thought that was cool. Obviously, the original rocket launcher they had in Halo 5 was not well received at all, so they ended up bringing the Spanker in, so I was like, alright, that's cool, I enjoy it, I like the different rec variants they had of it. Also, we got the Mark IV Gen 1 armor, which is amazing. I love that armor. It's what I wore all the way until they added in the Classic Helmets Rec Pack. I don't remember when that was, but whenever they added that in, all the way up to that point, I was wearing the Mark V Gen 1 armor, and I absolutely loved it, and it's still one of my favorites in the game. We also finally got a new Warzone map, Battle of Noctis, which I really like the aesthetic of. From an objective point and like a gameplay point, it's kind of generic, kind of too similar to the other ones for me, but from an aesthetic point, I just love the whole city setting. I love the kind of the colors of it. I really enjoy it. We also got Overgrowth, and I mean, it's fine, I guess. I remember really liking it at first, kind of when they had the original weapons on there, but apparently that wasn't balanced too well, or all I remember is that I remember really enjoying that right when it first came out. And that was about it. I mean, we got social playlists finally, which was good, you know. That should have been there from the beginning, but, you know, we got it. And we got seasons introduced in that one, so that was good. So overall, I'd say this is where kind of Halo 5 started becoming the Halo we had wanted to see on launch day. It's obviously not all the way, but it was a little bit, it was more than we wanted it to be. And now that it was finally where we kind of were hoping it would have been a launch day, it was good that we were finally getting all this stuff in this update. And so for a way to close out 2015, I thought it was a decent update. Then we started 2016 with the Infinity's Armory update, which I actually really like just kind of the art aesthetic of. I love the Achilles helmet. If you watched a video I did kind of a couple weeks ago, I talked about the my favorite armors in Halo, and Achilles was one of them. I just really love the look of it, and I especially love that you have to earn it with Spartan Company commendations. I think that's really cool and unique, especially with Halo 5's just kind of awful reward system they've got going on. But in this, we did get Riptide as the new arena map, which I thought was fine. I wasn't a huge fan. Urban is the new Warzone Assault map. Again, not really much to say. I really like Warzone Assault in Halo 5. Not a ton, but in terms of like what you had to do to get rec points and just kind of something to play when like Halo 5 was popular, I guess, or when I was really playing it, I really enjoyed Warzone Assault. I thought it was a fun enough time. We also got the Halo 2 BR, which I thought was really cool. I remember being super excited for the first time, and again, there's not much to say. We got the Reign of Oblivion Carbine and the Blood of Suban Carbine. The Blood of Suban is an awesome weapon that is for the rec level you get. I can't really recommend it enough. If you're playing Warzone, I definitely recommend it. The Achilles armor set, like I already mentioned, was really awesome. Got some cool new assassinations like every update, and I specifically remember this being the update where people kind of started getting antsy for infection and just kind of mad. We got the Mr. Chief AR skin and the lock and loaded pistol skin, both of which were just, I thought they were cool. I mean, I thought they were kind of fun, stupid, you know, they don't need to be there, but they're there. I thought they were kind of fun. We also got like the Boom Co. ones, that update. We got the Last Slice and the Lord of the Fries one, and this one people started saying we're getting the pizza skin, but we're not getting the infection, you know, we're not getting infection yet. So, you know, that's justifiable, or not justifiable, but, you know, I still thought it was fun, and we would thankfully be getting it in the next update. A bunch of just stupid armor variants that no one really likes, and probably no one really wears. But the major things, like I said, were just Achilles, kind of some fixes, and the new fun weapon skins that we got, in addition to the Halo 2 BR and Riptide. Overall, not a terrible update, but one that I wasn't a huge fan of, and overall, it was just, it was fine, I guess. Then moving on to February, we've got Hammerstorm, which I remember being super excited for. I remember watching that live stream when it first came on, and they showed off the Halo CE pistol was returning on whatever the map was. I don't remember specifically where it was, but they showed off the Halo CE pistol was returning. I thought that was really cool, especially with the same animations, the same melee animations that it had all the way back in Halo CE. I thought that was really cool. And again, like I want to preface, like I said in the beginning, all of this should have been there at launch. I get that. But I'm just kind of like, I mean, I have a soft spot in my heart for Halo 5, is that obviously it's a pretty disappointing Halo game, and it's not a good Halo game, but it was a Halo game I was pretty invested in, like a lot of people, and I think most people would be wrong if they said they didn't have at least some sort of fun in it. So I want to try and look at the positives, because I feel like everyone's really complained about Halo 5 a lot, so I just kind of want to look at the positives today. But anyways, going away from all that, we also got Assault, which I thought was really fun. Then Torque as the all-new arena map, which I was like, alright, it's fine. I didn't love it at first. I kind of liked how the different pillars would go up and down, kind of that was dynamic. I was like, alright, you're trying to be a little unique, that's cool. We also finally got Griffball, which was cool. I don't love Griffball in Halo 5. I remember it being super frustrating, just accidentally betraying your teammates and then you get booted and that's it. I remember that being a huge pain. And something I completely forgot about just looking back on it was that there was no Grav Hammer when Halo 5 launched. It took them all the way until February of the next year to add in the Grav Hammer. So we did get the Grav Hammer in this update, along with some Storm Rifle variants, that kind of thing. And always, like, we got the new weapon skins, we got new assassinations, new stances, that whole thing. And we did get the Hammer Time stance, which I actually really enjoyed and thought was cool. And that's about it. I mean, that was a pretty simple update. And we also got Fiesta Slayer, which I remember being super insanely excited about when we first got that announced, because that's one of my favorite things in all of Halo, is just that kind of thing, that kind of game mode. So finally getting Fiesta Slayer in Halo 5 was a huge deal to me. And overall, Hammerstorm was a solid update. I remember being really excited when it first released, and I have a soft spot in my heart for it, especially with the release of the Halo CE pistol and the Grav Hammer finally coming to Halo 5. Then in March we did get Ghosts of Meridian, which was an okay. I remember being kind of excited, but not really. It was like, alright, I guess we're getting another update, which is good, because, you know, the more content, the better. We did get our next Warzone map here, Skirmish to Darkstar, which I actually really like. I thought it was kind of cool. Like I said, I like the aesthetic of it. I kind of like that there were the doors that you could open and close. I thought that was cool. We got Tyrant as the new arena map, which from a gameplay level I don't love, but visually I think it looks cool. It's like right next to the sun. I think it looks pretty cool. And then this is, of course, when we got the announcement of the Warzone Firefight beta, which I remember being pretty excited for. And Warzone Firefight I don't like. I think I can say that. I don't really like it. But we got some new Forge stuff that just kept on adding to the Forge, making it as good as possible. Still remains the best Forge in Halo to this date, which is awesome. We got some new grav hammers like Tartarus's Gavel, which I absolutely love and is a cool idea. And just, if you're gonna put these weapons in Halo 5's crappy rec system, at least make them cool. And they did that with Tartarus's Gavel. I did think it would have been cool if they actually put Tartarus's hammer in the game. But, you know, this is still cool too, and it's a lot of fun to use in multiplayer. We got the Hannibal Mantis, which I kind of like all the Hannibal the Mantis and the Scorpion. I kind of like all the Hannibal vehicles, as it kind of have that laser thing going on. I'm a big fan of that. And this is, unfortunately, we got the Mark 5 Alpha Reflex, which kept on adding to the horrible Mark 5 they had in the original, like, the original Mark 5 they had in the game was so ugly and so bad, and I hated it. And especially with Mark 5 being my favorite helmet in the entire franchise, finally getting it and then like kind of seeing what it was just awful and disturbing, and I hated it. And yeah, that's about it. Ghost Meridian I wasn't a huge fan of. There wasn't really much to it besides the new map and like the new Warzone map, the new arena map, and then some weapon variants, which were cool but weren't a huge deal to me. Then moving on to one of the biggest updates and one of the best and most anticipated updates in this entire game's lifespan was Memories of Reach. I remember seeing that roadmap they put out for the first time with Memories of Reach on it. I remember thinking there'd be all this cool stuff. I remember all of us kind of anticipating a Spire remake and as a Warzone map. That's what I thought would be really cool. But no, it really only had some Reach-inspired armor, and that was about it. Of course, we did get Infection with that finally, which was cool. Halo 5's Infection is fun enough. It's decent, but I just don't really have the same level of fun with it that I seem to have had with the later games or the earlier games. And we did, of course, get the Reach armor. We got June's armor Vigilant, which I think looks good. We got George's armor Indomitable, also think looks good. We got Emil's armor Wrath, also really like, and then we got Cat's Intruder. All of it I think is pretty like solidly done, and I really enjoy all of it. This is also kind of when we started getting the arena remixes, which I wasn't a huge fan of, especially when so much of the map pool is just made up of remixes of earlier maps, the earlier arena maps, especially when you're just getting that. We got Stasis instead of Torque, which I was like, alright, that's fine. And well, like every update, we kept on getting matchmaking stuff, we kept on getting Forge updates, which was cool. And this is also where everyone thought we were going to get the Falcon. I remember seeing that Oni classified weapon thingy, you know, on the rec reveal, and I remember seeing that everyone was like, are we gonna get the Falcon, are we gonna get the Hornet? Oh, I can't believe it. They reveal it, and it's the Phaeton Helios. Probably one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen, and I just remember being so depressed after I saw that. Either way, you know, we got the Phaeton Helios. We also got these really cool, the Blue Teams and the Noble Team skins, which are really awesome. I really enjoy those. The ODST skins, the Osiris Team skins, weapon skins in this update, I thought were really cool. And we also got like the Vengeance weapon stance with George's chain gun, was really cool. And we also got George's chain gun, which I also thought was a cool update, was a cool addition into this game. And really, it felt sort of like Reach, this update, but not enough like it should have. There should have been a whole, like it sounded Memories of Reach. It should have made you feel like, oh man, not like you're playing Halo Reach, obviously, but it just kind of made you feel Halo Reach feelings again, and that update just really didn't do this for me. It was cool they were trying to do, but I feel like they could have gone an extra step. Obviously, no, I know they were pushed for time, trying to put out these updates every single month, and I don't really blame any of the people at 343 for this. Then we got Hog Wild, which I completely actually forgot about until I like started doing this video, where it was they like didn't really want to fully commit to an update, I guess. So we got Hog Wild, where we got the Sword Hog, the Rally Hog, and the Vespin Hog, all of which were like, all right. I remember seeing the rec reveal for that, being like, okay, it's like there's like 4 rows, but whatever, it's fine. We also got the Hybrid Scope, which I also think is kind of cool. Like, it looks cool. That's about it. And we got the Stinger Armor, which I don't hate. Overall, no, it's not even really worth talking about. It's the Hog Wild update. You know, that's about it. Then we got the Warzone Firefight update, which is probably the biggest update to ever come out in this game, and I remember the day it came out, and I was super excited, and I spent the entire day just playing Halo 5, and it's definitely one of my favorites that released. Obviously, we got Warzone Firefight, the all-player co-op experience, where Spartans team up to tackle some of the Infinity's biggest challenges. I don't really like Warzone Firefight. It's no substitute for Firefight. It's fun on its own terms, like you can have fun with it. I remember, especially right when it came out, I played it a lot. It was fun. We got the Grunt Goblin, which I thought was a really cool, fun, creative addition. More of that stuff is what I would really want in Halo 5 and from 343 in the future. Just more fun, creative stuff that shows that they can come up with these cool ideas and implement them into the multiplayer and co-op stuff well. We got Molten as an arena map, which I really like the look of. I think it's a really cool idea. And we got Attack on Sanctum, which I actually really like as a Warzone map. And I thought it was cool they introduced things like having Jewel Mdama as a boss on that map. I don't believe they had it like right in this update, but it might have been later. Just that kind of thing I thought was really cool. And then something I was super excited about, since this was around 2 years after the Master Chief Collection released, I'd been playing trying to get all the par scores and par times in the Master Chief Collection. That's one of my favorite things to do in that game. And to hear that we were getting campaign score attack finally for the campaign, I was super excited about. And then I got all the achievements in like a second because they just weren't like challenging, they weren't fun to get. You just put one mission, you just played one mission and then beat it in like legendary, and then that was it. There wasn't really much to it, so that really disappointed me. And then it just wasn't really as fun as I had hoped for. Maybe I got my expectations up a little too high. Either way, I was still a little disappointed. We also got the new Forge Canvas title, which I was like, alright, I'm not a huge Forge fan, but to people that really are into Forge, I assume that'd be a huge deal for them. And then when we didn't get the Falcon in the last update, people were super excited thinking we might get the Falcon in this update. And then I believe it was Polygon put out the reveal of the Wasp, and we did a video right when it got revealed. We were excited, but it's only one man, so and it's bad. Like it's like a level 3, I think, and it sucks. So that was extremely disappointing. And it's like they kept trying to tease us with the Falcon, but they just kept being like, no, you get the Phaeton Helios, no, you get the Wasp. And the next up, they'd give us more Wasps either way. We also got some new beam rifles, which I believe the beam rifle Delta, the Halo 2 beam rifle Delta, is the one that shoots like black holes. I think that one's just a lot of fun to mess around with, and just a lot of fun to play around with, and that kind of thing. So overall, this update is really cool. I remember being super excited. It offered a lot of like just playtime of different things you could do with Warzone Firefight, with the new Grunt Goblins, with the new maps, and just with the new Warzone stuff that they introduced. I thought it was really cool, and I just was really excited when it first released, and it still remains one of my favorite updates that this game put out to this day. Then, kind of transitioning, we got away from that. I believe that was in summer. Then it was around a couple months later when we started getting the hints of, oh man, are there going to be more updates? And there would be. We got Anvil's Legacy, which was just kind of called the fall update for a while. Then we got the reveal that it was going to be Anvil's Legacy. And with this, we got one of my favorite maps in all of Halo 5, which is going to be Mercy, a remake of Halo 4's Haven, which are both beautiful maps. I actually like Mercy a little bit more just because I kind of like the look of it more. And if they could bring this back in Halo 6 in some way, I would love it. Modify it however you need. But I just completely love this map, and to hear that it was being kind of remastered to come back in Halo 5 was super interesting. This is also where we got the Halo 5 Forge release on PC, Windows 10. I don't have a PC that can even really run it, but I thought it was really cool for that, and to see that they're at least kind of making some sort of effort to put Halo on PC, I was like, alright, that's cool. This is also where we got kind of like a lot of stuff that didn't really matter. We got like the Halo app to launch that, which was cool. We also got the content browser, so I was like, alright, that's cool. In addition to that, we got I don't know if this is where we got the custom games browser, I don't believe it was, but we also got Temple as the new Warzone Assault map, which, like I said earlier, I really like Warzone Assault, at least when I played the game. I thought it was fun enough. And then we also got the Wicked Grasp and Berserker's Claw, both as the Hunter arms, which were a little disappointing. I thought it was kind of a cool idea that you're ripping the Hunter's arm off, basically, and using it as a weapon. I thought it was kind of a cool idea at the time, but looking back on it, it's not as cool as we all had hoped it to be, and it's kind of just a disappointment looking back on it. And we also got the Master Control weapons cage, which I remember everyone was really excited about at the time, just because they had a really cool look to them, and that was about it. Then moving on to really the last update is going to be Halo 5's 10th free content update, and it's going to be Monitor's Bounty. This one I was actually really excited about and is really cool. With this we got Forge mini-games where basically, like I said before, they just kept updating Forge with more and more stuff, and this one had a lot of Forge stuff. This is also where we got the Reach Grenade Launcher and the Prototype to return, both of which were super OP until the recent weapon tuning update, which now they're still good, but you know, they're not as overpowered as they used to be, which I actually thought it was a lot of fun playing with these insanely overpowered weapons, but whatever, they got nerfed, and I'm fine with that. We also got the Oni Wasp and the Hannibal Wasp, like I said, and they're both like fine, they're better than the normal one, but it's not the Falcon or the Hornet. I hear people debating either. I would take either. Like, I don't care either way, as long as we get some sort of team-oriented air UNSC. It doesn't have to be UNSC, just a team-oriented air vehicle would just add another level to the multiplayer that kind of felt like it was missing in Halo 5, even though we had the Banshees flying around and all that stuff. Then we also got the customs browser in this update. And this was actually really cool. I remember seeing this for the first time thinking it was such a cool idea, and it still is. It's probably, I would say, one of Halo 5, if not Halo 5's one of the best original ideas that they've had. It's just you can join in other people's kind of servers they've got going on, their own games, and it's just really cool. It added more to the community focus, and it was really cool. They kept on updating Warzone and that kind of thing, and they kind of reworked the playlist, added an observer mode, which was cool, and overall, just, it was a decent amount of time. It was a decent amount of stuff. It was fine. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but Monitor's Bounty, I remember being excited when it released. We also got the anti-air wraith with that, which I thought was cool, and we just got some new stuff that you can mess around with in Warzone. I thought that was fun, and overall, for its last big update, I thought it was fine. I thought it was enjoyable, and for its last, like I said, its last big update that they were really going to have, I thought it was good enough. Then, really recently, we actually got the Overtime update, which was really its last update. It really doesn't add anything core to the game, and it's pretty small, but it's worth pointing out, since we already pointed out Hog Wild. This is where the Halo 5 got enhanced for the Xbox One X, which I've heard, even though I don't have an Xbox One X, I've heard looks absolutely incredible, so that's cool. I am planning on getting an Xbox One X hopefully sometime eventually, depending on whenever they announce their next console, but I will really want to see what Halo 5 looks like on that, since I've been told it just looks beautiful. We also got Oddball on this, which was really awesome to finally get Oddball back. We got the Halo 5 Guardians local server on like Xbox One and Windows 10 and that kind of thing, and it really just added in like new commendation. This is where we got the weapon tuning update and just kind of some HCS skins and that kind of thing, which I'm not a huge fan of because I don't really like paying for those, but that's fine, and that's about all we got. So for its last update, it didn't really count as an update. It was fine, it did what it needed to do, but by then Halo 5 had kind of lost its steam, I guess, lost its traction, and that was kind of the end of the game. And now we're here today on March 26th of the time I'm recording this, 2018, where we're a couple months out from E3, where we hopefully get the announcement of the next Halo game. So, all of that said, the last 20 minutes of stuff said, Halo 5 is fine. It launched pretty terribly, like I said, 5 game modes, a subpar campaign, and it was a disappointment to say the least. But throughout these updates, they managed to build the game up to something that's pretty special, at least from like a multiplayer level. Not talking about if you're like a pure Halo gameplay purist, but if you're just approaching this from the aspect of, hey, this is a modern FPS, let's see what it offers. It offers a lot compared to a lot of other games that are being sold today. So overall, especially playing it today, I'd say it's a pretty good time, especially with all these updates. My favorite update, like I said, is probably the Warzone Firefight update, just because I'm being so excited for it. But I think, like I said, most people will agree that the anticipation leading up to the different updates, the different artwork they put out, the different announcements and stuff, people speculating about all the different teasers they would have at the end, they managed to do something pretty entertaining and pretty fun with what they were given. They had to crank out these updates every month, and to kind of get the community excited and kind of have those stingers at the end of their live streams, to have the live streams, to do the fun stuff on the live streams, they managed to do something at least pretty special with it that I was not expecting, and that they didn't really have to do at all. They could have just put the updates out. But all of that said, tell me what you guys think about Halo 5 Guardians content updates in the comments down below. This is probably going to be my last big Halo 5 video. Just kind of wanted to talk about it in a discussion type thing. Just talk about the updates, and if that's really all I have to say, then I want to hear what you guys have to say about the updates in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching Majestic Gaming.